last group to report, Group 5, and after that report, I'm going to ask for a summary of the comments from Michael, and then we'll open the floor up to discussion. So, Group 5.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Tom Smith from Michigan State University. Group 5 was chaired by Vice Chancellor Salunke. Other members of the group included K Veeranjaneyulu, Professor Mylavarapu, Dean Prajapati, Professor Sharma, Professor Shenoy, Professor Naik, and Dean Naidu. Like the previous speaker, I'd like to just hit some highlights because there was quite a bit of commonality with the other groups. As to the financial guidelines and policy of the consortium and any constraints, we had quite a bit of discussion and tried to clarify specifically to get to the bottom of this question. Clearly, as other groups have indicated, there are some systemic barriers, and so working with the appropriate government agencies in India would overcome those. And I think that's probably true in other countries as well. As to the flow of money back to the consortium, we recommended a range of anywhere from 10 to 25%. I wanted to make sure that I covered the variation between that. As to the financial aspects monitored and audited, again, we felt there were clear guidelines within institutions already where there wouldn't be any difficulties with that. And of course, with the consortium, there would be a clear finance committee and treasurer that would also provide another check and balance. It was very clear that models in India exist for open content right now. And again, in policies and procedures of the consortium, those could be very well spelled out with Creative Commons licensing and some of the other aspects to make sure that is covered. Who owns and controls the content? Again, with open content, it would be covered by that Creative Commons license, but we also discussed making sure that we provided a mechanism to allow institutions to contribute content that they retain ownership for and could offer that and use the platform as a promotional and marketing arm to get that content out and deliver that content. We talked about making sure that we provided a mechanism for consortium members to work together to develop and deliver content. So I think that's one of the major benefits of the consortium, that we could really develop this mechanism, and also to make sure content was delivered to all levels of users. And I think that was another important point that came up. The quality control discussion, again, a fair amount, but I think ultimately we felt that quality control by the institutions providing content would be sufficient, although there were some discussions about having a ad hoc committee or even a standing committee within the consortium that could at least review quality. We did talk quite a bit about membership, and I think this has been brought up quite a bit, but clearly some way to have a longer term membership, and also to make sure that membership categories accommodated well beyond the academic institutions, including some of the research centers, including some of the organizations that were out there that have been supportive of this consortium all along. We did talk about the variation between both formal education and informal education, and making sure that the consortium could accommodate both formal and informal education. And one of the things that I think also came out is, and it's been brought up a number of times yesterday and today, that the idea of online education is not the end all, that there has to be clear understanding that online education needs to include also that practical experience component. And I think we've talked enough about a number of mechanisms to do that with host institutions. So I'll end my comments there I don't know if my other team members have any additions to add. I hope I captured their thoughts and recommendations adequately. So thank you.